Why do you seek validation? As a child or young adult, you may have never received little to no validation from the people that is most important to you in your life, and that could be from your parents, caregivers, relatives, siblings, friends, or teachers at your school. And this shapes your perception of yourself. This impacts how you view yourself, and this creates a chronic sense of not fitting in. You don't feel you belong, and you feel that you're never good enough. And this, unfortunately, gets carried into your adult life and has significant impact in how you navigate around your adult relationship, especially your romantic connections, because not having validation means that you need to feel validated to feel worthy of love. And as a result, you obsessively seek validation from people that might just not be good for you. Validation is a love language. Validation is a form of love and acceptance, and it should never be held back, especially by those who matters to you. A lack of validation is the foundation of a negative view of the self. We simply cannot deny there is immense power in validation, because as humans, we are wired for connection through emotional connections with other people. And part of building thriving human bond is through validating our emotions, feelings, and experiences. Validation is not just for approval. Validation is a love language, is to be seen, heard, and understood and loved. When you grow up experiencing invalidation, this takes a significant toll in how it shapes your self-esteem and how you show up in the world as an adult. And this is by no means your fault, because as a human being, you deserve to be validated and you deserve to be loved just the same way as everyone else. You are no exceptions. I want you to know that if you're watching this video today, I want you to know that your experiences, your emotions, your thoughts, your challenges are valid. My name is Vinaraji and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to today talk about how you can validate yourself. Now, this channel is dedicated to healing from childhood trauma, narcissistic abuse, and healing attachment styles. And as you know, I have done the healing work on my own, and I decided to start this channel to share with you on all the things that I've done for myself with that professional help that's worked for me, and I hope that this will work for you too. With all that said and done, it is inevitable, especially if you have endured lifelong trauma, if you come from a dysfunctional family dynamic, if you don't have the most supportive people in your lives, and you struggle with validation your entire life, unfortunately, the onus is now on you to start validating yourself. And in today's video, we are going to dive deeper into the steps that you can take to start giving yourself all the validation that you may have not received in your life. As much as we all want to be seen, loved, and understood, unfortunately, sometimes we are left with no choice but to give all those acknowledgement and validation to ourselves. So, as a first step, in order for you to start validating yourself, you need to understand if you have any attachment issues. Now, this usually is the case for anyone that is on the spectrum of any of the insecure attachment styles. So you may have an anxious attachment or avoidant attachment, or maybe a combination of both, which is also known as a disorganized attachment style. So I personally had disorganized attachment style, which I have worked through, and I was able to see how my attachment issues was coming up, and I worked through giving myself all the validations that I may have not received when I was so much younger. So knowing your attachment issues is the first step. Identify what's your attachment style, look at all the trigger points, see why do you get triggered. Now, for example, if you have anxious attachment, now you are very insensitive to inconsistencies, because as a child or young adult, you had received inconsistent caregiving from your parents or from your family. As a result, you don't know what to anticipate, and this makes you feel nervous. As an adult, this usually gets triggered, especially if you are in a romantic connection. You tend to want this validation and constant reassurance from your romantic partner, and this can be really depleting for the other person. So when you start understanding your attachment, you will be able to look through why you act the way you do, where these attachment issues are coming from, and you would be able to put a name to your emotions, to the feelings that you may have been struggling with for maybe all your life. So as a first step, get clear, understand your attachment style, and I would encourage that you become obsessed reading about it. Get to know your attachment style as much as possible, because trust me, just understanding your attachment style and knowing that there really are other people like you out there who shares the same emotional struggles is going to be so validating, because you would start to realize that you are not the only person, and oh my god, your experiences are valid. There are other people out there who have had similar experiences. And know this, attachment issues can be fixed. Attachment styles are not set in stone. You can work through your healing and you can move towards becoming more secure. But as a first step, you need to understand if you have attachment issues. Number 2, start doing all the things that you have always dreamed of doing, whatever it is. Now, for a lot of people, they are often afraid of doing something that they really want to do because they are afraid of disapproval from their family. Maybe your parents just don't like you doing that hobby. Maybe you want to join that competition. Maybe you want to partake in that sport. Your parents disapprove them. Your family members are against it because they just don't think that is right for you. While that's their opinion, it's not acceptable to them. You need to start understanding that this is for you. This is your interest. This is again very common in South Asian households, especially, or Asian households in general. Family members, relatives, parents, they always think they know what is best for you. You should get this job. You should get this degree. You should become a doctor, an engineer, because this careers are a symbol status in the society. But that's not what you want to do. Maybe you want to be a designer. Maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to be a singer or an actor, whatever it is that you want to do. What is the one thing that you have been putting off? You are passionate about it. You always want to do, but you have never had the chance to do it because no one was going to support that decision. Find that out. It can just be one thing at a time. Start doing it. For example, I had always wanted to do designing, but I never had the support. I never had anyone who understood my dream. Everyone just told me that I should get a degree and just go and work in a good job and draw a monthly decent salary, but I wanted more. I wanted to do different things. So I eventually did do what I really wanted for myself, and that was so validating. When you're able to give yourself the things that you always wanted, but no one would do it for you, no one would approve of you, it can be so empowering and healing. So find out what is the one thing or more things that you've been putting off, things that you always wanted to do. Take baby steps. Get started, because now is the time. Remember, we all live only once. We have one life. Do what makes you happy. Do what's best for you. This is so underrated. But if you're watching this video, I want to urge you to start making note about all the things that you love about yourself. Now, this would allow you to start getting to know yourself better. A lot of times, we don't even know what we truly want or what we truly are as a person. What is it that really, really makes us happy? Now, let me give you a simple example. I absolutely love going to the movies alone. For me, that is my self-care routine, that is my me time, my alone time, and I cherish that. That is like the one thing no one can take away from me. I love going to the movies alone, and I just get really annoyed when someone would tell me that, oh, you go to the movies alone, like, oh, you're such a loner. No, it's not that. Like, I mean, I do have friends and people that I can go out with, but movie is just something that is very sacred for me. I mean, I am a movie buff. I love going to the movies, and I like doing it usually on a weekday because it's less busy, it's more quiet, and I would just grab some snacks. I would sneak in some snacks that I'm not supposed to. And yeah, I would just enjoy watching movies, and I usually do these on a weekly basis. So it's like something that I absolutely love. And I do love a lot of alone time, my me time. So you have to really start to understand, get to know yourself. What is it that you love about yourself? And start to embrace that's who you are as an individual. A lot of times people are so afraid of being alone, and for some people they do need that, but then there's external pressure, be it from your partners or family members, and they're constantly demanding for their time and attention, and you just tend to lose part of yourself. So get to know yourself, everything that you love about yourself, make note and start feeling joyful and proud about that. Embrace your individuality, because you are the only person that is going to be with you for the rest of your life. Remember that. Number 4, know your boundaries. Now, this is going to be really challenging, especially if you have attachment issues. So, if you are more on the anxious side, so make sure you find out if you have attachment issues to begin with, because then you would be able to identify why you're struggling to set boundaries. This is often the case with anxiously attached folks. They do struggle to set boundaries because they lean in on the people-pleasing tendencies. They are very giving, over-giving, so much so to the point that they would not want to say no to people. So, they have very weak boundaries. So you might want to get familiarized with what are your attachment style like, see if you have attachment issues, and see what you can do to fix those and how you can learn to set boundaries. Now, if you would like to know how you can set healthy boundaries, I do have a video on this, and please do check out my video, and that would be a great guide on how you can start to set healthy boundaries. Now, this is really important because boundaries are meant to be your armor. It is meant to protect you and making sure that people don't take advantage of you. You want to protect yourself from potential manipulators, and you don't want people to treat you like a little ping pong ball. So make sure that you know what are your boundaries. Most importantly, knowing the boundaries is only one thing. You need to do anything and everything, fight like a dragon if you will, to make sure that you can hold your boundaries in place. Because having boundaries is one thing. Sometimes we can be a little bit flexible. We tend to let it go and be a little bit lenient, but before you know it, that being lenient is what's caused someone to cross your boundaries. So you don't want people to violate your boundaries. Having boundaries will get you respect from the right people and people who are emotionally mature and healthy. Number 5, list down and acknowledge all your accomplishments, your achievements, and especially the ones that were never validated. You see, what happens here is a lot of time we may have done some really amazing things. And I'm talking about accomplishments and achievements simply because these are the things that makes us feel worthy. It makes us feel good about ourselves. It really builds our self-esteem. A person's self-esteem is often associated with external factors such as successes and achievements. So if you never got that validation, for example, if you worked so hard on that one particular project at your company and you delivered on time, you did everything, and the project just turned out to be a success, and despite all your initiatives and efforts, now if your manager or your boss did not acknowledge and validate you or give you that acknowledgement that you were so deserving for your contribution, you are going to feel dejected. I mean, tell me, who doesn't want that validation? Who doesn't want to hear something good about the work that they had done so well despite putting in so much of effort? Now, if you were not validated, it sucks. It's hurtful. It's going to be upsetting. And what also happens is, for some people, now this is very common, when you don't get that acknowledgement that you were deserving, that validation that you were deserving, you are going to take it so personally, it becomes so hurtful, and that emotions become suppressed, and then it would manifest as someone who doesn't want to contribute as much anymore in the future. Now, this is how trauma is formed, because you were never appreciated the first time. The next time, you're going to be skeptical about wanting to, make that initiative to contribute in a similar way, or to put in so much of time and effort, because you know that probably you are not going to receive that acknowledgement and validation. So take your time, list down everything that you had done, everything that you have accomplished. Give yourself that reminder that this is who you really are. These are your achievements, these are your accomplishments, and these are the things that nobody in this world can take away from you. People can hate on you, they can gossip about you, they can bitch about you, and they can character assassinate, they can do whatever they want, but it's not going to change the fact that you had achieved all this on your own. So learn to validate your achievements, your accomplishments, because this is going to make you feel so good, so worthy as an individual. And this would also serve as a reminder, in fact, an internal reminder that you can do so much, that you are so good at this. Like, start acknowledging it and start feeling amazing about yourself, and forget it if you never got the acknowledgement from others. Start doing it for yourself now. Number 6, okay, well, this one is quite popular. Stop dating for at least 6 months. Now, I would encourage 6 months to a year, because it gives you enough time and space for you to focus on yourself. You would be able to prioritize yourself, and you would be able to work through certain areas of your life that hasn't been great, and also take the time to reflect back on why some of your past relationships didn't quite work out the way that you had wanted it to. Look inwards to see if you were contributing to the failure of that relationship or whatever reason why that relationship wasn't successful. Now this is again an exception if you were in a narcissistic relationship. I just want to put it out there. However, in fact, even if you had been in a toxic relationship, you really want to look inward to see why you stayed for as long as you did. What is it that you were lacking on your own where you were not able to make decisions that were right for you? So stop dating for 6 months to a year. You do not need external validation from a male or female counterpart. Work on yourself, start feeling good about yourself, know what is it that you're looking for, and see what are the areas in your life that you really need to work on so you can stop relying for that external validation that you would want from a partner. Now that being said, eventually in a healthy relationship you will have to receive validation, but in a healthy way. I mean, validating someone's struggle and someone's difficult emotions is it's healthy. So I would not say that, oh, you don't need validation from your partner, but what we are really trying to do here is to stop putting your self-worth and your value based on what another person is going to think of you, their perception of you. You don't need their validation that you're beautiful. You don't need their validation that you're academic or you have a successful career or you are an amazing person. Give all that to yourself. And for that, you need to stop dating for a while so you can bring the focus back to yourself. Number 7 is become obsessed with your personal growth. Now, I will bet my entire money on this. There is no one in this world who has become worse or failed because they invested in their personal growth. This is the most important investment that you will make in your lifetime, investing in yourself. When you are so obsessed and driven by personal growth, you become unstoppable. You get to know yourself. You become so valuable. You learn to value yourself. You learn to validate yourself. You know what your self-worth is, and you are so growth focused. What happens here, it also shifts your mindset. When you are focused on personal growth, you would no longer be interested in people who are interested in superficial things or people who only hold superficial conversation, people who gossip and talk about other people, because these things don't add value to your life. When you are focused on your personal growth, you're going to be doing the healing work, you're going to be grounding yourself, you're going to be so focused on everything that you can do to improve your skills, to become a better person, to become smarter, brighter, fitter, healthier, you name it, the list is endless. So keep focusing on yourself, become so obsessed with your personal growth. It will change your life for good. And the last one we have is audit your inner circle. Yes, audit the people in your life that you are closest to, the people that you spend most amount of time with. Now, I want you to take the time to identify, how do these people make you feel? Do they make you feel great? Do you feel calm? Is your nervous system regulated when you are around these people? Do you feel joyful and happy and supported emotionally? Are these people that you can go to when you are having difficult time, not just good time? Are they people who are going to be happy to see you when you accomplish something? Are they happy when you're doing well in your career? Or are they there supporting you when you are struggling in your life, when you're going through difficult situations? This is so crucial, because a lot of time we just want to be around people because we don't want to be alone, not because they are great for us. When you start auditing your inner circle, you would be able to eliminate potentially harmful people or people who are just not good for your nervous system. There are people who just wants to see what's happening in your life, but they aren't really there to validate your accomplishments, your success. They are happy to see you when you're struggling, and when you are successful, they usually would just observe but not be there to take part of your success, to celebrate with you. It makes a lot of difference, because when you become so invested in yourself, you will be able to tell people who are genuinely interested in you because of you, or people who are just around you because there is something in it for them. So audit your inner circle, get clear, list down the people who add value to your life. And I would say this again, when you reach a certain age, especially if you are above 30s, it gets a lot more challenging because life changes. We just go through different phases of life at this point. We have different careers. We tend to grow apart with people we were once close with, and that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And sometimes it's also okay to lose people when you're so focused on yourself, because when you are obsessed with your personal growth, when you're putting yourself first, when you want to do something better for yourself, it is understood that not everyone will be able to see you or meet you on that same level. And sometimes you will have no choice but to actually leave people behind because they are no longer aligned with your new goals, mindset, and your values. Audit your inner circle and keep people who are good for you and eliminate those who are not healthy for you. Now, before I end this video today, I just want to say that someone who does not validate your experiences or your accomplishment or your successes, they don't even like you that much to begin with. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I would really love it if you could hit like and subscribe, and I would see you again in my next videos. Bye now.